So are you looking for a review of Doctor Who episodes? In this video I give my review and views of the Doctor Who episode Spearhead from Space, coming up. What's up everybody, welcome to Sao Til, celebrating the awesomeness is a TV show Doctor Who. On this channel I do episode news, episode reviews, historical lookbacks and everything else in between. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. So as we know, the first episode for the third Doctor, Jon Pertwee, was Spearhead from Space. It was the episode that introduced the Autons and the Nestine consciousness to the Doctor Who fandom. Who can forget the quite iconic image of the shop dummies coming to life, bursting through the glass and shooting people randomly in the streets? Obviously it was a regeneration episode. If you want to see more of my views on that particular aspect, have a look at my post-regeneration analysis video, which is somewhere up here, all being well. The story is not a Doctor-driven story. The story of Spearhead from Space is actually driven for the majority of the episodes by other characters, and I think looking back on Classic Who in general, I think this is one of the qualities that I miss in New Who. Is that essentially in New Who the entire episode is driven from the point of view of the Doctor. It's driven from the Doctor, or it's driven from the companions, whereas Classic Who you get more filler. And I know that's because the episodes were, the whole kind of storylines were longer. They weren't just 40 minutes, they were a number of 20-30 minute episodes. But you get the feeling that the supporting cast aren't just supporting cast, they are quite fleshed out characters in their own right. And Spearhead from Space is a classic example, a very organic story that is being driven by a number of different characters rather than just the Doctor and his immediate companions. It's a creepy storyline, definitely is a creepy storyline. The concept of the Autons, the concept of living plastic is, when you get down to the bare bones of it, actually really creepy. And there are a number of scenes in this storyline that actually are quite kind of spine kind of chilling a little bit when you start looking at them. One of them is where you've got Major General Scobie, who was the head of the army in the local area, gets a knock on his door and he opens the door and he sees himself standing on the doorstep, the Auton replicant of himself. And it's just that really creepy thing that, if you can imagine opening the door and seeing yourself standing there and seeing yourself coming towards you, how freaky would that be? And just the way they did the makeup on the Scobie Auton. So it was just, you get that kind of yellow blanched kind of skin and it's just shining in the light. And it's just like, as he kind of walks towards the camera, and that's the last thing you see before the episode cuts. So the Autons as a whole, the effects of the Autons were done really well. You got the threat from them and you can see how people at the time were freaked out by shop dummies. Thought the storyline made sense. It was a very simple alien invasion storyline where the Nestine consciousness was being created on Earth, where the Autons or the plastic meteorites had landed on Earth. They'd already actually been there on Earth for 6 months or so, commandeering the plastics factory, which on paper sounds really bizarre, but it just works really well. And the fact that they were there to colonize Earth by creating this being, this Nestine that could actually, this ultimate being that could survive on Earth and take over. The villain Channing, who we all know is a Auton in his own right, he's one of these classic Doctor Who human villains that you don't really know is he human, is he not human. And the way he's controlling other people in the plastics factory to do his bidding. He's quite a menacing character. And there's that scene where the Brigadier and the Doctor and Liz Shaw go to visit the plastics factory, and Channing is looking through that frosted glass and he's kind of looking like this at the Brigadier who's standing there, and the Brigadier kind of goes like that and he's like, and it's just quite a menacing character. And the way he controls the Autons and the way he's planning that whole invasion, it's just really well done, and a superbly understated performance by Hugh Burden. A simple thing with some simple villains that work very well, and a lot was left to your imagination. Yes, you had the old tentacle Nestine thing, which again was a really creepy scene at the end of the episode, end of the story, where it's attacking the third Doctor with its big tentacles coming out of the box. But that's about all the alien thing you actually saw. All the rest was done by either the actors or by the simple movements of the Auton soldiers. Less is more. By using that concept of less is more and leaving a lot to the imagination of the viewer, allows you to create really good imagery in people's minds rather than trying to show it on screen. Full credit, obviously, to the supporting cast. Liz Shaw was introduced as a companion, and I've forgotten how good Liz Shaw is as a companion, because in some ways she's the Doctor's equal, because she's a scientist. She's not just kind of a wallflower who's just along for the ride. She is there for a reason. UNIT have hired her for a reason. When the Doctor fully comes into his role as the Third Doctor, and he's going through his coma and he comes into the UNIT headquarters, he immediately recognises Liz Shaw and her skills and immediately bonds with her over the concept of science and actually sort of solving this problem of the Auton invasion. I think Liz Shaw is actually overlooked as a companion, certainly in the Third Doctor's tenure. Quite often everyone thinks of Jo Grant when they think of the Third Doctor, or latterly Sarah Jane, but ultimately actually I think Liz Shaw was better than both of them. Obviously the Brigadier is there again. The Brigadier has already encountered the Doctor before. He's very matter of fact. It takes him a few moments to accept that the Doctor has changed his face, but once he accepts it, bang, that's it. We just move on. There's no complaining, there's no grumbling. It's just, right, okay, he's an alien, he's changed his face. Right, where's the next problem? All in all, it was a very nicely paced, classic Doctor Who episode. Some classic Who episodes are a bit slow and a bit methodical, a bit plodding. This one didn't really hang about. It had some really nice scenes introducing not only the Autons through the meteorites and through the plastic factory is one storyline, and the regeneration aspects of the Doctor in another storyline, and the introduction of UNIT and Liz and how that all works. I didn't get bored through it. There's aspects of classic Who we do get a little bit bored from time to time. I didn't get bored through this at all. It was quite a nice, like I say, organic episode that flowed very nicely and had a really good conclusion. It introduced all aspects of Doctor Who again to people who'd never seen it before. You got the Doctor, a little bit of his back history, you got UNIT, you got Liz, and the concept of what they're going to do with this new series moving forward where he's stuck on Earth. Right, there we are. There is my review of the Spearhead from Space. What did you think? Have you seen it before? Have you seen it in HD? I have to recommend you get the Blu-ray copy rather than DVD, because actually the conversion is really nice, because of course it went from 16mm film onto the Blu-ray superbly, so I recommend you go and get that. What did you think of the episode? Stick a comment in the comments below and let me know what you think of Spearhead from Space and anything involved with the Autons, with Jon Pertwee's Doctor, anything like that. Stick it in the comments below. Likewise, stick any comments in the comments below about what any future videos, any future reviews you'd like me to do on this channel. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this channel, ring the bell. Likewise, if you appreciate this video, please give it a like. Sao Til is all about celebrating the awesomeness that is a TV show Doctor Who. I'll be back soon with some more Doctor Who related videos. Until then, cheerio for now. Bye bye.